all done. With the exception of some grinding stuff smooth and spray painting, galvanizing, painting, and actually bolting the wood on and the actuation, it's done. So there's the monitor shelf, there's the desk. Very sturdy, very heavy, feels nice and rigid. I've just got some clamps to hold it at the right height right now. So if I take that off, you've got two bits up there to hold that in. I was worried that they would be a little bit bendy, but no, they're very, very rigid. I hadn't done much like structural welding before, so I didn't really have a good feel for how strong welds are, but they're really strong. Take this desktop off. So there's the frame underneath the desk. Again, nice and rigid. So I've got it held at 3 points here with these clamps to stop the 20mm stuff sliding down inside the 25mm stuff. And I'm sort of trying to work out the best way of actuating, that is to say, raising and lowering the moving section. So I bought this M16 threaded rod, and my plan was, / is, to weld the nut onto the bottom bit and then spin that and then have the top bit push up on the top bit as it spins. So you get fixed there and spin, the rod has to move up because the rod is threaded, so it's got to move. But I want to have 3 or 4 rods that move synchronously, that lift it up, so maybe one here, one over here, and either one in the middle at the back or 2 in the corners at the back. I haven't decided yet. So there's a couple of considerations. I want it to be nice and stable because it's basically the thread rod that's going to be supporting the weight of the desk. All this extra crap is just to hold it steady. And I've also got to synchronously drive them, so I'm not quite sure how to do that. My plan originally was to weld some bike sprockets onto them from reverse garbage and run a bike chain, but that could get complicated. I'm just trying to think of some other means of driving them that isn't just 4 motors, one driving each. Although you can pick up some cheap motors that would motor/gearboxes with a old drill or something would probably do the job pretty well. So originally I was worried that I'd have to drive it up and drive it down, but after I got everything lined up and in the right angles and such, it falls down by itself, so I don't need to worry about driving it down, especially with the weight of the desks and the monitors and everything and pushing it down. It just drops straight down. If I took those clamps off now, it would just go shloop and sink right down to the bottom. So that's fine. But yeah, I'm trying to work out the best way to do that threaded rod. There's a plane going overhead. This rod does fit inside this 20mm stuff, but I couldn't think of a neat way of making that work and also being able to drive it without having threaded rod poking up above the desk, which I don't want. I want it to be all under the desk. I've got lots of stuff to mount stuff to, so maybe I can have 2 motors and 4 rods and have a chain that goes between those 2 rods and one that goes between those 2 rods, and just drive those 2 with one motor and those 2 with another motor. That could work. But yeah, it came out pretty good. It's very rigid, and I don't think I'd ever build another one. It's a lot of work, but I couldn't see a way of getting exactly the desk I wanted without spending $2,000 on a purpose-built standing desk. As it so happens, I'm in my vivarium down here, which is where I designed this in Google. What's that thingy called? You draw in 3D? The VR drawing application. That's where I designed this desk. And now it's in that space. Theoretically, I could start it up. Tilt brush. That's it. Google Tilt brush. theoretically I could start it up, position the desk exactly where the drawing is, and then trace over the object and see how close that matches my drawings. That'd be fun. But yeah, it comes in two pieces, comes apart into two pieces, so I can relatively easy fit it in upstairs. But yeah, so I've got to bolt those bits of wood on, work out how I'm going to drive it down or up, and give it a nice paint job. Okay, bye bye.